Get ready for another wild week of the Texas high school football playoffs. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks, your guide to Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have you caught your breath yet? After one of the wildest first rounds of the Texas high school football playoffs that we have ever seen, we've got 176 more win or go home games in the second round of the Texas high school football playoffs. Once again, I am picking every single game from 6A down to 6-man. The picks are scrolling down here at the bottom of the screen, so keep an eye out for that. But there are big games all across the Lone Star State on this Turkey Day weekend. We start in Austin. 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon at DKR Stadium in Austin. It's a 6A Division I Region 4 clash between the Lake Travis Cavaliers and the Converse Judson Rockets. What are the keys to this matchup? Well, key number one, deja vu. If you're thinking, wait, I feel like I've seen this movie before, it's because you have. These two teams faced off in week 1 of the Texas high school football season. It was part of Fox Sports Southwest's Big Football Days in Texas promotion, and it was a pretty emphatic Converse Judson win, 65-45. The Rockets ran away with a big victory. What has changed between then in August and now in November? Both teams have grown, both teams have changed, both teams have some injuries. We'll get to that in just a second. But can Lake Travis make up the 20-point difference that separated them in the first week of the season? That's a big key in this one. Key number 2, quarterback health. You know, it's the 13th week of the season, so everybody's a little bit nicked up, but there are big injuries for both of these teams at the key positions, especially at the signal caller spot. For Lake Travis, their quarterback Matthew Baldwin has been battling an ankle injury, did not play in their by-district victory, instead turned to sophomore quarterback Hudson Card, who acquitted himself pretty well. On the other side, it's Juwan Williams, the quarterback for Converse Judson, and he's been kind of in and out the past few weeks. We don't really know what his status has been. We know he did play in their by-district victory, but he was a little bit limited. But he's a huge part of what Judson wants to do offensively. He went for 501 total yards in their week 1 victory over Lake Travis. He was the difference in that game. So with both quarterbacks as question marks, which one answers those questions on Saturday afternoon? And key number 3, turnover margin. I know you could say that for pretty much every football game ever played, but it feels especially important in this one with two high-powered offenses that promise to get this score up. Who can come up with those 1 or 2 turnovers that are going to turn the game? We know that Judson came up with a couple of important turnovers in their week 1 victory, including a pick 6. Can they come up with that defensive game changer, or will it be Lake Travis's turn to turn the tide? Who am I picking? I'm going with Judson, but with a little bit of a caveat. We really don't know how effective Juwan Williams is going to be in this game. They've kept this pretty shrouded in mystery. Meanwhile, Lake Travis is very capable, and I think they are a lot better than they were in week 1. That said, I think the overall team speed for Converse Judson here is the difference. Guys like Sincere McCormick, not to mention their outrageous front 7 led by their defensive end DeMarvin Leal. I think they're going to be able to get enough of a push, even with or without Juwan Williams. I think Converse Judson comes away with the win. Let's go from the largest classification to the smallest. 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Hamilton as the Richland Springs Coyotes take on the Milford Bulldogs in a 1A Division II clash. Yep, we're talking some 6-man football. What are the keys to this matchup? Well, key number 1, tippy time. That's what the Richland Springs radio announcers call it whenever their outstanding playmaker Walker Tippy has the ball, and he is a game changer, arguably the most valuable player in the state at any level. How valuable is he? Well, they've played 1 game without him, and that was the opener against Happy, and they lost. He is really, really important to what they want to do. Now, there are some questions as to whether or not he's going to play or be effective in this game. He was apparently injured in their Week 11 win over Cherokee. He did not play in their by-district matchup last week. So does Walker Tippy play, and how big of an impact does he have on this matchup? Key number 2, Tehran time. So maybe you know Walker Tippy, but you may not know Tehran Smith, the outstanding playmaker for the Milford Bulldogs. This kid is lightning in a bottle. 55 total touchdowns already, and it's not just running the ball. He's a very accomplished passer as well. This kid is a stud. How big of an impact does he have on this massive matchup? And key number 3, crunch time. You can make a real argument that Richland Springs is the best high school football program in the state. They have won 8 state championships since 2004, and the way that they've done it is that when they've been punched in the mouth, they have responded. Down the stretch, they have come up with the big plays when they need it. This is maybe their biggest test yet. Milford is balanced, they are dangerous, and they are explosive. I expect this game to be close into the final minutes. Who comes up with those big plays down the stretch? Who am I picking? I'm going with Richland Springs. This is a pedigree play. I think that as one of the most decorated high school football teams in the state, if not the nation, they deserve the benefit of the doubt. But I will say that if Walker Tippy doesn't play, then that's all the advantage that Milford needs to take home the victory. I expect this game to be close. I expect there to be a lot of fireworks, but I think Richland Springs takes home the victory. 7 o'clock Friday night at Vernon Newsom Stadium in Mansfield. It's a 6A Division II clash between the San Angelo Central Bobcats and the Mansfield Tigers, and they flipped for home and home in this one, and it came up heads for Mansfield. They get to host San Angelo Central, so the Bobcats are getting on that bus and heading on into the Metroplex. That is an advantage there for the Tigers, not to mention the fact that their defense, led by Cameron Jones, is playing fantastic. I think the running game with Avery Chapman leads the way. I think the Tigers take home the win. 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon at Waco ISD Stadium. It's a 5A Division II matchup between College Station and Georgetown. 2 very fun dual-threat quarterbacks going at it in this one. Marquez Perez for College Station and Cooper Bell for Georgetown. They're going to put on a show. The question is, who comes up with that defensive stop? This is a coin flip type game. It could really go either way. I think I lean a little bit towards College Station. Noon Friday at the Ford Center in Frisco. It's a 4A Division I clash between Van and Kennedale. Talk about a clash in style in this one. Van wants to throw the ball all around the field with their outstanding quarterback, Garrett Mosley, while Kennedale is going to grind it out on the ground with Deshaun Curvin and Jaden Knowles. The difference here for me is the Kennedale defense. It has been fierce. I think it leads them to a win. 1 o'clock Friday afternoon at Wichita Falls Memorial Stadium. It's a 3A Division II matchup between Cisco and Childress. This is a rematch from a playoff game last year. That was an instant classic. Childress taking home a 21-14 win last year. And 2 really good quarterbacks here. You've got Childress quarterback Luke Latimer and Cisco quarterback Case Gale. I expect this to be a real slugfest. I think it could be very similar to last year, both in how low scoring it is and the result. Give me Childress. 7 o'clock Friday night at the Field in Pflugerville. It's a 2A D1 Region 4 matchup between Mason and Shiner. Shiner's running game is starting to get going, but can they break through one of the very best defenses in all of Texas in this Mason Punchers front 7? I don't know if really anybody can at this point. I'm going with Mason. And 7 o'clock Friday in Azle, it's Blum taking on Tioga in a 1A Division I clash. I think this could be a very defense-first matchup. I know you don't think of six-man football as a defensive game, but both these teams boast very strong defenses. Blum is coming off a close win over Aquila. I think they lean on their running back Logan Bellinger and guides the Bobcats to the win. But those are far from the only big games in the second round of the Texas High School Football Playoffs. Remember, I'm picking every single game. They are scrolling down here at the bottom of the screen. Let's get to the lightning round. In 6A Division I, I like Arlington Martin to beat Odessa Permian. Give me Mesquite Horn in a close one over Coppell. And Houston Lamar beats Fort Bend Ridgepoint. In 6A Division II, I think Spring Westfield's defense carries them to a win over San Marcos. Give me Cy-Fair over Houston Strake Jesuit. And I think Austin Westlake stays hot, and they beat Smithson Valley. 5A Division I now. Give me Lubbock Coronado to stay unbeaten with a win over El Paso Del Valle. And I will take Prosper very close over Mesquite Poteet. Temple edges Magnolia West, and Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial beats Brownsville Veterans Memorial. 5A Division II now. I like Abilene Cooper to beat El Paso Eastlake. Give me North Forney to outgun Lake Dallas. And Sherilyn takes down Alice. 4A Division I now. Wichita Falls Hershey beats Lubbock Estacado. One of the toughest games to call in the state. I like Kilgore over El Campo. And China Spring gets past Somerset. 4A Division II now. Give me Bushland over Godley, and Melissa beats Rusk. I like Salado over Liberty, and Geronimo Navarro takes down Rio Hondo. 3A Division I now. Brock squeaks by Shallow Water, and Kemp takes down Mount Vernon. I'm riding the hot hand with Rockdale over Woodville, and give me Hallettsville over Goliad. 3A Division II now. Harmony beats Jacksboro. West Rusk takes down Buffalo, and Lexington beats Odom. Down to 2A Division I now. Stamford beats Sundown. Give me Crawford to beat Valley View, and I'm going to go with Centerville to beat Big Sandy. 2A Division II now. I think Bovina gets past Clarendon, and Lindsay takes down Menard. I'm going with Bremond over Timpson, and Milano beats Woodsboro. I'm going with a bit of an upset in 1A Division I. Give me Coolidge to beat Union Hill, and in 1A Division II, I think Strawn beats Kroll. And as always, we encourage folks to get out and see the Texas High School Football Playoffs in person. But if you want to watch a few games at home while you're spending time with your loved ones this weekend, our friends at Flow Sports have quite a lineup prepared. You can watch South Lake Carroll and DeSoto, Hutto and A&M Consolidated, Vandegrift and Cibolo Steel. You can check them all out at flowsports.com. That's FLO sports.com. And those are the picks. I picked all 176 UIL Texas High School football games. My picks were scrolling down here at the bottom. So if you missed your pick, the beauty of YouTube is you can just go back and check your game. And then you can tell me, what am I wrong about? Leave comments down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the second round of the Texas High School Football Playoffs. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you.